Hello, everybody. We are here for a big thank you, starting with my friend Claire, who I just have to say big old snaps from everybody because Claire is our board member in charge of the summer book club, and you are the glue that makes this whole thing come together. So thank you, Claire.
Well, thank you, everyone. It was quite a summer, which I could never do without this team and all of our, I think, our book club past winners,
Yeah.
right? Who do all the curriculum in the background and keep all those posts going and so many resources. Like just the thought that this is truly an event that takes a village. And we have quite the community. For me, I think that was a big highlight for me this year in the book club. There's so many names I recognized, right? There were so many people that I was like, oh yeah, and I really felt this year that the conversations continued from prior years. I saw so many references to past books, so many references to cultivating genius and what we learned last year from Dr. Goldie Muhammad and layering text, and to think about how to use her framework with these books. So that for me was a big highlight. It felt like it wasn't like this moment in time. It was sort of this, I really feel like we're building on things year to year. And that for me was really exciting.
Well, think about the difference in the number of people who are on from when we started to 1,348 members this year. Yeah. Who could have believed that in this time? So I agree. Love that. Julie, what are you thinking about?
Just how much I loved, and this is completely selfish, and I will admit that, but I absolutely loved talking with Junie and Desi, or sorry, not Junie and Desi. I had a root canal 2 days ago, so I'm a little bit out of it, but Junie and Leslie. And I can say that it opened my eyes to how much literature we are not necessarily aware of because, and when I say we, I mean in the Western Hemisphere maybe, because we don't always think about folks who are creating great works outside of the Americas. And so it just opened my eyes to how much we can learn and how much we can grow by getting outside of not only our region, but perhaps our country, our state, and then even our continent. You know, Junie's book goes to Haiti and helps us understand, or she's Haitian, so she talks about what's going on in that part of the world. And I think it's important for us to not only scroll through the news, but be clued in to the cultural works that are coming out of various places too. So that was a good reminder, that conversation. And then, of course, I loved hearing you all talk with some of your favorite authors. The one from When the Stars Were Scattered is amazing. And, you know, Penny, you told me about the audiobook for that one. So just really looking forward to sharing those with my community as we go forward into this interesting school year that we're about to have.
I was thinking when you said that about how many times in an interview, and I was particularly thinking of Clint Smith and Angus Fletcher, among others, who made me stop and really think as I was interviewing them, and how excited I was to go, oh, I can go back and watch that again. Because there's just such a richness to those interviews that goes beyond the books themselves to like what their process is and who they are as human beings. I was thinking of your interview with Elizabeth Acevedo and Laurie Halse Anderson, how that back and forth added such a layer, you know, instead of just a one-on-one interview, it became kind of this group think.
They're amazing people. So I'm really glad that they were willing and able to join Summer Book Club and to share their life experiences and their thoughts with us, because they're a gift, huge gift.
Yeah. As well as all these publishers who, I have to say, from the beginning, when we're doing this like Rubik's Cube of figuring out what books we're going to do, so many publishers and the publishers of the books you've seen, right, step up and really help us make this happen by giving us the best price that they can, and the authors, right, agreeing to join us in some way, and making sure we're giving authors lots of different ways to do that, and illustrators. So a big thank you for reminding me of that, Julia, of all the authors, illustrators, and publishers who helped us make this happen.
Well, I was thinking when you said that, Claire, about how Yukari shared some of the survey information. And we're really hoping, if you're listening to us, that you will fill out our survey, because that feedback's important. I hate to say it, but Claire's right. In October, we start planning next summer's. And in the survey info, There were, I don't know how many people, Yukari, who said they wished that we'd done a professional book this year.
I would probably say maybe about half of the people had said that.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I think is interesting about that is I had a lot of people who said they didn't want to do a professional book, who were so tired. And I was thinking about this summer book club is like an edited collection you'd pick up where everybody had their say, but it's a different person. Like all of these speakers and all of the resources that people put together for the books feels like we definitely had a professional book. But I also mentioned before we came on that I think The Black Friend is an important professional book. It is important for me to do my own work in that book. So we hear you, and we'll be looking for next year as we think about it. Fran, what do you think?
You know, if I had to pick 2 words to describe this year, I probably would pick generosity. The generosity of everyone, whether it was the teachers that gave their time to participate, the teachers that came on when it was available. I think that flexibility that we have so people can come back and watch at different times, but also the whole village that does this, you know, previous grant winners who help write the curriculum, as Claire said, previous grant winners that are just a part of the process. You know, they just build on what we do as a team. The board that supports this, you know, Penny, you that had this vision in the first place, of course, but it's just, it's the layers of all of those that fit, but the biggest umbrella is the other word, joy. It's the joy that comes from, you know, listening to you and Kwame talk. That was amazing. But that whole part of the joy when you see Kylene and Bob, you know, the joy from listening to the author read their own work. You know, I will never look at Evelyn Del Rey's Moving Away the same just because of that. So those 2 pieces are just like the icing on the cake for summer book love. And it may look like it's only a summer event, but boy, it's a year of generosity and joy.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. And Yukari, will you just, because we're coming to the end here of our enormous thank you to the people who participated, how much did we raise? If you could kind of update us on the numbers that you've been putting on the website.
Sure. So, well, first of all, I think, you know, I want to thank everybody that participated. This is a huge, huge part of what, you know, the funds that go into Book Club Foundation and how we fund the classroom libraries. And because of all of your participation and just trusting that this is the program that you want to be part of, we raised enough money just from the foundation, the book club, that we could find somewhere between 50 to 60 classroom libraries for the following year, which is just huge. As far as like foundation itself, from the time we started, what, 7 years ago, I think it was, Penny, 7?
The foundation started in 2012, gave out our first library in 2013.
So, okay, so 7, 9. I don't know, I can't do the math. 8. I can't do math. Because in 8 years, we've raised $960,000. I mean, that is a huge amount of money that we've raised to support teachers like all of you and your classroom libraries. So thank you so much for being part of the program.
Unbelievable, huh? So as we look forward into the next school year, I think we're all kind of steeling ourselves for the challenges ahead. It's we're still in this pandemic, and I know that I'm going to appreciate all the work you do to keep the website updated and all that, Yukari, because we can come back and look at these interviews again. When I need a little sparkle of joy, I can go in and listen to Ernesto talk about writing Efren Divided, or, you know, there's just so many people who generously gave to us. Sonia Cherry Paul's interview, powerful, right? So just so much that I'm grateful for, and especially for the people who joined us. So thanks to all of you.
Can I end us with a poem?
Did you know there is a poem by a student of Linda Reef's in that book?
I did not.
Page 29, just saying. Go
Not the
ahead.
one I was going to read, but I could read that one. But
No,
I was reading
no,
this
read the
book
one you were going to read
this morning, and it's the first one, and I thought this might be a good poem to end us on. I think in almost every interview we talked about, at least that I was part of, and so many of you, like how appreciative we are of teachers and what we're about to enter again and the amount we're asking. And so this poem, it's by Rosemary Waltola Tromer. It's called Hope. Hope has holes in its pockets. It leaves little crumb trails so that we, when anxious, can follow it. Hope's secret? It doesn't know the destination. It only knows that all roads begin with one foot in front of the other. And so I hope that this book club has left little crumb trails for everyone to go back to when they need it, to help them put one foot in front of the other.
Thank you. Ending with poetry. Thanks to all of you.
Thank you.
Bye,
so
everybody.
much.
Thanks.
Bye.